Okay, so there's some pretty striking research coming out of MIT recently. It really makes you stop and think about how we're using AI.
Yeah, it's landed with quite a thud, hasn't it? The headline finding is, well, it suggests most people just passively asking AI for answers.
Yeah,
They're actually making themselves measurably less sharp.
less sharp is putting it mildly. The sources mention something like a 17% drop in performance on certain tests. Things like critical thinking, remembering stuff.
Exactly, a 17% decline. It sounds pretty alarming when you first hear it.
It really does.
Uh,
But the flip side, which is maybe the more exciting part, is that the same research showed something else. If you use AI intentionally, like really engage with it,
like a thinking partner, not just an answer machine.
precisely, then it can actually double your learning speed and boost your creative performance too.
And that's really what we want to dive into today. We've been digging through the source material, and it outlines these three really practical workflows, ways to turn AI from that cognitive crutch.
Into more of an intellectual amplifier, yeah. We'll be looking at specific tools mentioned, like NotebookLM and Gemini 2.5.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
We're going to map out how you can consciously build what the sources are calling an AI-augmented mind.
So 3 core ideas we'll unpack. First, designing a really structured mental workout.
Second, how you can build your own kind of polymath portfolio for learning.
And third, creating active memory systems, so the stuff you learn actually sticks permanently.
Okay, let's start with that first bit, the cognitive crisis. Why the drop-off? The sources really flag this trend of, well, intellectual dependency from just passively using AI.
It's what they're calling cognitive outsourcing, right?
Right.
You let the AI do the thinking, give you the answer ready-made.
And you bypass all the mental heavy lifting you need to do to actually solve the problem yourself.
The scary part is the physical impact. Neural pathway degradation. That sounds serious.
It is. I mean, if you stop using those brain circuits for complex thought, they literally get weaker, like a muscle you don't exercise.
So your mental flexibility tanks. Your ability to handle new unexpected problems just diminishes.
Yeah, and your memory formation takes a hit too, because you weren't wrestling with the information in the first place. You just passively received it.
It's not just about forgetting things, it's about losing the ability to process new things effectively.
Which brings us to the solution. Shifting to active engagement. Using AI deliberately to challenge yourself, test your understanding, and actually strengthen those cognitive skills.
The goal set by the research is pretty ambitious, outperforming 91% of people in creativity tests.
That's the benchmark. It shows what's possible with the right approach. Active challenge versus passive consumption. That's the core difference.
Okay, so if AI can just give us the answers, what's the single biggest danger if we completely outsource our thinking like that?
You weaken your brain's built-in ability to spot patterns and tackle totally new problems.
Right, losing that fundamental pattern recognition. Okay, so how do we fight back? That takes us to workflow 1, the mental workout.
Exactly. The brain's like a muscle, needs a proper workout. This workflow uses Gemini 2.5 to basically design a personalized mental gem for you.
A gem? What's that exactly?
So according to the sources, a gem is just a custom set of instructions you lock into the AI. Think of it like pre-programming it for a specific task.
Okay, so you create this gem to run a repeatable, focused cognitive training session tailored just for you.
You got it. Like a digital personal trainer for your mind.
And it's not just general knowledge quizzes, is it? It targets specific areas.
6 key areas, actually. Memory systems, creative processing, logical reasoning, pattern recognition, verbal fluency, and mental flexibility. You need to train across the board.
For that kind of anti-fragile intelligence they talk about, makes sense. So how do you set it up?
It starts with crafting what they call a master prompt. Really detailed instructions defining all the activities for your workout.
And then you plug that into Gemini's custom feature, lock it in as your mental workout gem.
Yep. And critically, it's systematic. The sources suggest a rotational schedule. Day 1, you focus on memory skills. Day 2, maybe creativity. Day 3, logic, and so on.
Structure is key. Warm up, core training, cool down for reflection.
Right. And here's where it gets kind of neat for pushing yourself. Adding an intensity scaling system.
Intensity scaling. So you tell the AI how hard to make it.
Yeah, like a difficulty level from 1 to 10. Level 10 might mean super complex problems with really tight time limits. No hand-holding.
And then there's level 11, ultra extreme.
Ultra extreme, maximum difficulty, maybe surprise constraints thrown in, forcing you to blend different skills on the fly.
Wow, that sounds intense.
It is. And honestly, getting those constraints right in the prompt can be tricky. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself sometimes, making sure the AI actually sticks to the hard rules you set.
Ah, the vulnerable admission. Yeah, defining those boundaries precisely. It's a skill in itself.
It really is. But that constant push preventing stagnation, that's the whole point of the scaling.
Okay, so beyond just having the custom instructions, how does adding that intensity scaling system really boost cognitive growth?
It forces you to constantly adapt. It makes sure the exercises stay hard enough to actually strengthen your mind.
Pro prevents plateauing, keeps the challenge real.
Got it. Let's shift gears then. Workflow 2. Creating a polymath portfolio.
Yeah, this one's really cool, inspired by people like, Leonardo da Vinci. His genius wasn't just in one field, it was connecting ideas across different fields: art, anatomy, engineering.
Seeing links others missed.
Uh-huh.
So how do we do that today, minus the Renaissance genius part?
Well, the sources lay out a modern framework. Distribute your learning. 60% in your main field, your primary domain.
Okay, 60% focus.
Then 30% in adjacent areas, things that naturally complement your main expertise.
Right, so if my main thing is, say, visual art, adjacent might be photography or graphic design, stuff that fits closely.
Exactly. But the really interesting part is the last 10%, the wildcards.
Wildcards. So completely unrelated stuff. Totally unrelated. For that visual artist example, maybe?
Hmm.
Mycology, studying fungi.
Hmm.
Or the neuroscience of how we perceive visuals.
Mycology. Okay, that is a wild card. Why deliberately learn things that seem irrelevant?
Because that's often where the biggest breakthroughs hide. Those seemingly unrelated fields offer completely fresh perspectives. They spark connections. Your competitors, stuck in their own silos, will never see.
And NotebookLM comes in here as the tool to manage this?
Precisely. It acts like your research assistant. You feed it all your diverse source materials, articles, notes, PDFs from your primary, adjacent, and wildcard areas.
And then it helps you connect the dots.
Yeah, you can use its features to find those links. The source material mentions using its Discover feature or prompting it with something specific like identify surprising connection points between these fields.
That's powerful, finding hidden links across different domains automatically. Whoa, imagine scaling that. Cross-referencing like a billion queries worth of research almost instantly. That's mind-bending.
It really accelerates that polymath potential, doesn't it? Making those complex links visible, maybe even mapping them out.
Okay, so that 10% wildcard allocation, why is that often where the most groundbreaking ideas come from?
Because those unrelated fields give you the most novel angles, sparking truly unique, unexpected insights.
Makes sense. Novel perspectives drive innovation. Okay, let's take a quick break. Sponsor.
And we're back. Before the break, we were talking about how that 10% wildcard learning can spark major breakthroughs. But finding insights is one thing. Making them stick is another.
Right. Which brings us squarely into workflow 3, active memory systems. We all know that feeling you read something interesting and poof, it's gone by tomorrow. The memory trap.
Passive consumption equals poor retention. Classic problem. Information in one ear, out the other.
So the fix, according to the sources, generating active learning materials, using AI again, maybe NotebookLM, to help.
Exactly. Instead of just reading or highlighting, you get the AI to create things for you that force you to engage. Think flashcards, but more advanced. Or tricky quiz questions. Or even complex case studies that make you pull together ideas from those different domains you're studying.
Integrating concepts, not just recalling facts. And then you use something like Anki.
Yes. Anki is fantastic for this. It's free, powerful software based on spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition, that's the thing where it shows you information right before you'd normally forget it.
That's the one. It dramatically increases how long you remember things. It's like fundamental for locking knowledge in permanently.
So you take the flashcards or quizzes the AI generated.
And you import them directly into custom decks in Anki. The AI handles the boring part, creating the study materials, so you can focus on the active recall.
Nice. Automating the grunt work. The sources also mention, for the more technical folks, potentially automating a whole thing.
Yeah, briefly. Using AI coding assistants like Claude Code or similar tools to maybe process your NotebookLM notes, format everything perfectly for Anki, and even handle the import via an API.
Okay, that's definitely next level. But the core principle is accessible, right? Turn passive sources into active challenges.
Absolutely. That's the key takeaway.
So when we're aiming for that permanent knowledge, Why is actually generating these quizzes or case studies yourself or having the AI do it for you to use so crucial?
Because it forces your brain to actively engage and process the material, not just skim over it passively.
It makes you wrestle with it. Okay, so we've got the workout, the synthesis across fields, the memory system. How do you manage all this? The sources mentioned a framework.
Yeah, CODA. It stands for Capture, Organize, Distill, Express. It's a way to structure your second brain, basically. Maybe using a tool like Notion to house it all.
Capture, organize, distill, express. And the most critical step they highlighted was
Distill. That's where you really transform raw notes into usable knowledge. Finding those cross-references between your polymath readings, spotting patterns, making sense of it all.
synthesizing everything. Got it. And for really pushing the cognitive training further, there were some advanced techniques mentioned too, like reverse prompting.
Oh, this one's fascinating. You essentially program the AI, maybe using custom instructions in Gemini again, so it only asks you questions.
The AI asks me questions.
Yep. It acts like a Socratic guide. It won't give you answers. You have to provide the answers, defend your reasoning, justify your claims. It forces you to do the heavy cognitive lifting.
Whoa, okay, I like that. Flipping the script. And constraint mode training.
Another good one. You impose artificial limits to force creative thinking. Ask the AI to make you explain something complex, but explain quantum physics in exactly 55 seconds.
Or explain the CODA framework using only baking metaphors.
Exactly. Those constraints force your brain to find totally new ways to connect ideas, build new pathways.
It's like turning the AI into your personal Socrates, constantly poking at your assumptions, demanding evidence, looking for contradictions.
Keeps you sharp, keeps the learning dynamic, not static.
Okay, looking at all these advanced methods, reverse prompting, constraint mode, the Socratic approach, what's the ultimate benefit of making the AI ask us the questions instead of the other way around?
It shifts the cognitive load squarely back onto your shoulders. It strengthens your ability to reason, to think critically and independently.
Okay, let's pull this all together, the big idea. We've basically outlined 3 core workflows to shift from being a passive AI user to an active partner.
Right. 1. That structured mental workout with Gemini 2.5, training specific cognitive skills.
2, building the Polymath Portfolio with NotebookLM, seeking those breakthroughs in the 10% wildcard zone.
And 3, creating active memory systems using AI-generated materials with Anki for knowledge that actually lasts.
And the MIT data frames the choice pretty starkly, doesn't it? Either risk that cognitive decline through passive use,
Or actively partner with AI to potentially double your learning speed and creative power. Join that more elite group.
this active approach builds what the sources called anti-fragile intelligence, meaning your cognitive abilities actually get stronger when you face stress or new challenges.
Yeah, more adaptable, more resilient. And these workflows really target those high-value human skills AI struggles with, like deep creative synthesis, nuanced ethical reasoning, complex strategic thinking.
Skills that matter. So for listeners wanting to start, the source materials apparently have a 30-day transformation roadmap.
They do. The suggestion is basically set up your first Gemini workout gem and your basic CODA structure, maybe in Notion, this week.
Then start integrating Anki and maybe experiment with those advanced prompting techniques in the following weeks.
And the final piece of advice, which I think is crucial, you can't improve what you don't measure.
Right. Start tracking some key metrics. Things like, how fast are you actually learning new concepts? How many novel creative connections are you making per week?
Tracking that stuff shows if you're genuinely moving beyond that potential 17% decline and into growth territory.
It's about intentionality. Your transformation starts when you decide to actively engage.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Out to your own music.